Smitty, J Smitty conversation. J Smitty, J Smitty conversation. Smitty, J Smitty conversation.
Turning to a developing story this Friday as thousands of people have donated to an online fund supporting a family whose son was stabbed to death at a Frisco ISD track meet.
It's one of the ways people are coping with the death of AustinMetcalf.
Karmelo Anthony is charged with killing AustinMetcalf on April 2nd in Frisco, and he just walked out of jail 90 minutes ago after a judge reduced his bond.
They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get. So, dude, what was up? McCallan, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see.
Keep your hands to yourself. That's what needs to be taught here. And to tell this young brother to give up your seat, give me your seat, this ain't no damn Rosa Parks era.
So it's pretty clear to me and anyone that's been paying attention that the PR campaign and what appears to be the self-defense strategy that's being played out in the public by the Karmelo Anthony defense team is not at all focused on proving self-defense, but white guilt.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy J Smitty conversation. What's going down? Just got done putting up some shots, running. I hit the weights. I don't know if y'all care about that or not, but good work. Staying fit. Sorry if I'm sweating out of breath. But something was on my mind, and when things are on my mind, I tend to go to YouTube. Because I've been seeing some stuff online as far as, like, I've been seeing, some radical stuff, borderline racist stuff from one side. I've been seeing some, radical stuff from the right side. I've been seeing, black people on here jigabooing. I've been seeing some white folks being racist, right? And so I just want to give my perspective, just my honest perspective, and I'm going to try to keep it fair down the line, right? And so I want to say this, until we know the details, I would encourage black people to, don't jump too far off the cliff. I see too many people that look like me jumping off the cliff, and I get it. I understand. Like, usually when it's racism, when it's injustice, things don't go our way. And so a lot of us are triggered. And I think what a lot of Caucasian people, white people need to understand is that we don't hate white people. I don't think we don't hate white people. It's just we're traumatized, man. It's a thing called generational trauma. And, when it comes to the civil rights and Jim Crow and all that stuff, that wasn't that long ago. You get what I'm saying? My grandmother tells me vivid stories about racism. You know what I mean? Like, I have experienced racism. So it's like, you guys have to understand when black people jump out the window sometimes, it's because we have been victims ourselves, or, trauma is passed down through generations, even like with slavery, they talk about how long, like, if you really think about it, like, it's not that long ago, 500 years. So that's great grandparents, right? So it's like, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that far ago. So I just want to kind of put that in perspective, because a lot of Caucasians are like, yo, why do black people hate us? I'm like, man, I don't think all white people are racist at all. I'm friends with a lot of white folks. A lot of black people are traumatized, and usually when white people are clearly in the wrong, it goes to opposite direction. So I do want to talk about this. I played sports. This is perspective, and I'm going to jump back and forth. I played sports. I can understand Austin and any. Sorry guys, I had to move over here to the car. I got kicked out. Apparently they're playing pickleball. It's like 6 in the morning, so I guess older folks like to wake up early and play pickleball. So respect. And so I want to get perspective. Me as an athlete, right? I played in high school. I played collegiate. That was a unwritten rule. Like, an opposing team could not sit next to us, right? It was just an unwritten rule. Like, it was an unwritten rule. I can see myself, and I have been in situations where somebody tries to sit next to us that's on our opposing team, and we ask them to move. We asked them to move. Hey, you can't sit here. It's been people that was my friends. Hey, man, you my friend and all, but when I'm right here, when I got this jersey on, we cannot be right here. Let's chop it up after the game. Let's chop it up another time. But right now, I'm with my team, right? And then that was a normal thing. If someone did not want to move out y'all space, you know, you may physically remove somebody. And I guess this era, I'm glad I'm not in this generation, man. Like, this generation today, don't fight, don't argue, walk away. Because how I grew up, you know, sometimes you were on the giving end, sometimes you was on the receiving end. You won some, you lost some. I won way more, but you lost some. But like, you grew and you learned from that stuff, man. And whether you took an L or whether you won, you went home to your family. Like, I never thought about just stabbing somebody in the chest. That is kind of extreme to me. Like, to have you have a knife, you know, as a kid in high school. Because I live in Ohio, so, you know, I bear arms, you know what I mean? I do. I believe in your right to protect yourself. I live in a stand your ground state, and I understand that. But the reason why I mainly have a gun, because I know everybody else has one, right? So I got to protect myself and my family. But I'm a gun owner, proud gun owner, but I never had to pull it out. Never had to pull out my gun. But the point I'm making is that in high school, as a kid, as a 17-year-old, you know, and I grew up in the hood. I grew up in all black schools. I'm not saying black schools are hood, but I'm saying I grew up in the hood. You know, like, I experienced violence in my life. I fought. I turned out pretty okay. Even on the losing end, I never would think to have a knife and just stab somebody in the chest, right? And so for me, I think that's pretty extreme. And be careful, because my fear is that, you know, because we have been through real life situations as black people, we may jump out the window. I don't like how, you know, Karmelo Anthony's family is race baiting. I hate race baiters. I hate race baiters, because it's kind of like it's kind of like a woman that claims sexual assault that was not assaulted, right? And then we find out about it. It can minimize real victims. That's why I hate it, because I'm all for, trust me, if it's some racist stuff going on, I'm down. I'm down for my people, man. I hate racists. I don't like racism. But we have to be careful. Like, they're jumping out the window, and really there has been no indication of racism. There's been zero indication of racism. And so we got to be careful with that, because if this falls flat and details come out, and then all of us jumped out the window, you know, ready to have our signs and you know, and ready to march, and we find out that this kid Karmelo Anthony overreacted, then it can ruin it for other situations where we're going to have to ride for people that experience real racism. All right, I'm back, guys. Another outfit change. You guys have seen it in real live action. I went to the gym, drove home from the gym, took a shower. Now I'm making my runs, you know. But anyway, I want to get back to what we was talking about, and I want to make it quick, because I don't want to be long-winded. You know, I understand this to me is not so black and white. And so to my people, to my black people, my African American individuals, I'm encouraging you guys not to jump out the window until we know the facts. Until we know the facts, please don't jump out the window, because, you know, it could be likely that, you know, Karmelo Anthony, this kid, used excessive force, and what he did wasn't necessary. So my thoughts, and I'm gonna be quick. My thoughts, man, I'm on the fence, man. Just from the facts, and it could be more. That's why I have the right to change my mind. I want to put that out there. I have the right. So if it comes out that, you know, what's his name, AustinMetcalf, if it comes out that Austin said the N-word, if it comes out that Austin had some brass knuckles, or Austin picked up a chair, or Austin was putting Karmelo Anthony's life at danger as far as like death, then you know, I feel like Karmelo Anthony was in his right to defend himself with a knife. Like, if they were really trying to kill Karmelo Anthony, and they had weapons, or they were using the N-word, or they were beating him up to the fact where he felt like his life was at risk, you know, I feel like, you know, Karmelo Anthony was justified in trying to get up out of there, right? From the facts,
I'm not leaning. I'm being honest with you guys. Just right now, I'm not leaning towards Karmelo Anthony's way. Even though I guess the law could possibly back it up. Technically, Austin and his brother, they did, put their hands on him first. I'm just coming from the aspect of, and again, I live in Ohio. Stand your ground. And even like with myself, man, like the only time I'm pulling out my weapon is if it's the last resort. Like I would rather take an ass whooping and go home than to kill somebody, and I'm wrong for doing it and end up being taken away from my family. You know what I mean? So I think that's the problem. Again, when it was just different. Like that's maybe my struggle with this situation is like I just grew up differently. I grew up where a scuffle could happen and you walked away from it. Like I feel like the stabbing in the heart was a little bit excessive. There was many different things that Karmelo Anthony could have did, right? So one, again, being an athlete, and I told you guys before, there's an unwritten rule when you're an athlete, which is you don't let people who are on the opposite teams around you. Like me personally, if I was 17, I would have never been in that situation, because why am I sitting with the opposing squad? If I was friends with somebody on the opposing squad, we would be talking or kicking it outside of the tent. Like I'm not just sitting down with my team would look at me crazy. I'm not sitting down with the opposing team. I'm just not doing it. Most athletes understand this. But if I was in Karmelo's shoes, you know what I would have did? Like if I felt the way he did, I would have just been like, all right, cool, man. Y'all tripping. Y'all got me outnumbered. Y'all bigger than me. Cool. I'll be back. And I would have just got the squad. I would have got the team. I would have got my homies. And, we would have just dealt with it then. And then either it would have been a scuffle or it would have been a screaming match. And then afterwards, man, you shake hands and you got respect for each other and you move forward, man. I guess I just came from a different time, man. Like it wasn't nothing wrong with a scuffle, because whether you win or you lose, you go home. In the future, kids, don't put your hands on nobody. I wish Austin, you would have got a teacher, got a security guard. Karmelo Anthony, why not just move, man? If it's that important to him, it's not that big of a deal, man. It don't make you no punk, no sucker to move. And if you really felt some type of way, then, rather either scrap by yourself and take the L, or get your homies. Get your homies. You know what I mean? I don't like the stabbing. I don't like the getting the weapon. I don't like it, man. In my personal opinion, stand your ground needs to be a last resort, man. A last resort. Like I own a weapon. I live in an open carry state and a stand your ground state. And I get it. Like I get that some people try to abuse the stand your ground, and it's coward. A lot of people are cowards, man. Like if your first reaction is to grab your gun with confrontation, like I'm not talking about somebody trying to rob you or take your life. Like if it's a confrontation and your first reaction is to grab a weapon, you soft to me. Like that's just how I think. Whether you're black, white, purple or blue, green, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever. Like to me, if you're first when it's conflict, that means like you're both involved in it. Like again, the young man, like from what they said, and I don't know if it's true or not, but what was reported was that the young guy was like, touch me again or see what happens, right? And so, like I guess I was just cut. And see, now like the hood side of me is coming out. I was just cut a little bit different. I'm professional. I don't fight. I stay out of confrontation, and I believe in bearing your arms. I believe in protecting yourself. And because I live in Ohio, I have to, I guess, agree with stand your ground. And I don't get into confrontations. And when I was his age, like it was okay to scuffle. It was okay. Like I'm not saying it's okay to get your ass whooped, but if you got your ass whooped, so what, man? Like when I grew up, the people that got their ass whooped but didn't run away got respected. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me know. But yeah, just again, prayers for everybody. That's involved. Rest in peace to Austin. I don't think he should have died over something like that. And I don't know the details, so I'm just praying for everybody. Karmelo, I'm hoping that maybe you had a justified reason for pulling out a knife and stabbing somebody in the chest. But like in today's time, if you have kids, keep your hands to yourself, and it's okay to walk away. Like the days of fighting, the fighting, I can't even talk. The days of fighting, the days of squabbling, like the days of a fade, them days is over. Unless you kind of got to treat fighting like sex now. Do you consent? Do you consent to this? Do you consent? Like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you positive? We're not going to get too extreme, right? We can squabble, a couple bumps and bruises, go home to our families. Like, if not, then I'm straight. Literally, I'm not arguing with nobody, man. I'm not arguing with nobody. I don't have no confrontation. And, I just encourage people to move like that. Tell your kids to move like that. Because a day of squabbling and a fair fight and just people not being afraid to either take an ass whooping or give an ass whooping, or people just, it don't make you no punk to walk away. Like, it don't make you no sucker to walk away. It takes a real man to be like, you know what, man, y'all tripping, man. I don't care about this. And I'm thinking about this, 'cause I got a black young son, man, that's close to his age. And I would hate for my son to either take a life or throw his life away over some petty stuff, man. You know what I mean? So I'm reserving my full opinion on this. But right now, just me being fair and I don't have my race blinders on. I'm kind of leaning towards, the young man Karmelo maybe using excessive force, man. I don't think it was necessary for him to stab somebody in the heart. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, let me know. All right.